Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though.
PSGL, George Morgan here and Jack Canat. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go! Donoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Berezne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Borman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to PSGL here on the PlayStation TS for F4 round number 12, the final race of the season. We are here in Brazil. We're here in Sao Paulo. It's myself, Michael Edwards, taking you for the action, joined by Danny Quinn. Quinn, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good, of course. Final race of this season. It's going to be a bit of a spicy one. So, yeah, hopefully we do get a good race to round off a good season.
Yep, and obviously we are running a little bit late today, so I'll quickly on track as it currently stands. Right now, obviously last time out in Qatar, which of course Danny, you was not here for, but Sergio did take the victory in that race with the Vasas lap as well. Man-like, big result for him, finishing P2 with Ismail completing the podium, and Soapbox finishing down in P5. And what that meant coming into tonight was a Drivers' Championship separated by 4 points. It was going to be a championship decider, but as it currently stands, doesn't look like Sergio is in the lobby. So if he's not able to join, the championship is already decided, which is a bit of a downer, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. Of course, those two, well, since Sergio really started getting the consistent results in, the championship was getting closer and closer. And yeah, it does feel like we're being robbed of a championship fight in this race, but we'll make the most of it. And Soapbox can have a victory race going into here then.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, last time out in Qatar as well, the Constructors' Championship was wrapped up by Aston Martin. They were able to take the Constructors' title. So congratulations to Sergio and Mikela on the Constructors' Championship. And if Sergio does not join the lobby, then of course the Drivers' Championship will be going the way of Soapbox. But I mean, without further ado, shall we just head straight out onto the track? We got some guys just completing their first now, and honestly, we're going to go on board with Manlike. Manlike's on an outlap right now, so we'll stay on board with him and go for a flying lap around the Sao Paulo circuit, around the Autodromo Carlos Jose Apache, and we're going to see what Manlike can do as he comes onto the start finish straight, opens up DRS, runs down, crossing the start finish line to begin his lap, looking for a good break in now into turn number 1 as we come through the infamous Senna S's, and around turn 3, second DRS zone, going to take us all the way down to the Cita del Lago. And looking at the 100-meter board there, breaking in, big lock up on the front left though for Manlike as we climb up the hill now towards Ferrajula, where we've seen some good side-by-side action in the past. A lot of drivers do like to go side-by-side up here, but Manlike, they're just getting a little bit too greedy with the track limits, and that's an invalidation for them.
Yeah, it was looking like a very solid lap, just had it nice and clean and just ran a little bit too wide. Well, yeah, it just ran a little bit too wide, and obviously track limits means he invalidated the lap. It'll be interesting to see if he finishes the lap or decides to just go straight into the pits. So we have an idea of the lap time. Looks like he is actually going to go to the line. Would have been a 7.3, so would have put in P4 provisionally. So it would have been a solid lap, but it still would have been about 2 tenths behind Betsky, who is the current provisional pole sitter.
Yeah, absolutely, Antonio. Well, with the championship leader Soapbox, as he's coming up towards Zheng Chao right now, as he breaks down 4th gear, clips the inside curve, gets good traction on the exit, and climbs up the hill now to the DRS detection zone, and of course he will be coming to the line to put his first flying lap on the board. And it's going to be a 1.7 flat.
Yes, very good, of course. Over 2.5 tenths between himself and Betsky, and it's going to take some beating, and yeah, just interesting to see if anyone could get into the 1.6s now.
Honestly, what I'm hoping to see during qualifying is Sergio has joined the lobby. That is what I'm hoping to see. I don't know if he is going to be able to make it tonight, which is unfortunate for the championship battle. But I mean, if he doesn't, then obviously Soapbox can really, drive within his own limits now. He's got enough of a gap to Mikela. There's nothing else really for him to fight for, and if Sergio is not here, then see that just means that Soapbox can have a nice, calm race.
Yeah, he can, and I was just on board with Santero as he crossed the line, and he's put himself ahead of Betsky into P2 with a 107.179. So solid lap time for Santero, of course. That is his second flying lap, as we do have others on their second flyers as well. Alpha Kevin is, Mikela's invalidated his lap, Sam has invalidated as well. And Dennis is just going through the second sector, so
Kevin is taking too much of that inside curve, getting the validation up through Ferrajula.
So yeah, let's go on board with Dennis and see how he can do. I didn't quite catch the first sector split, but he's looking solid through this tight and windy second sector. Of course, it's quite tricky to get it all hooked up round there. He is 1.5 tenths up. Of course, he is in 12th at the moment, so with this improvement, it could see him jump up a position or two, at least above Sam. Did have a good run through Zhengzhou, the final real corner. They are up into P4, very good improvement in that third sector.
Yep, fantastic there from Dennis, getting good traction as you mentioned through Zhengzhou and able to get the run that he needed to climb up the positions. Ismail is 86 thousandths of a second up on his sector 1 time. He's currently in the middle sector now as he's approaching turn 10, and honestly turn 10 a key overtaking area as well, so it'll be interesting to see which drivers are going to have a look down the inside or look around the outside there, as Ismail took too much of the inside curve through Zhengzhou that unsettled his car, and that is his lap completely invalidated, but he was over 2 times up in the middle sector.
Yeah, could have easily seen him jump up to at least P3 there, so even with that invalidation, it's got to give him some confidence, as I believe that was just Sam that crossed the line and put himself up into P6. So, good run there for Sam, as they'll be going to the pits and just get ready to do their final runs. And I believe Sam is actually on a flyer. He's just gone through the first sector and he's over a 10th up on his time.
Yeah, I'm currently on board
with Sam.
I'm currently on board with Manlake, is a little bit further along on his lap. I'm assuming you're talking about Sam Van Marazin in the end on the circuit. 50.6 in the middle sector for Manlake, and a big result for him last time out, obviously getting P2. And you know, he's definitely been one of the drivers that has the pace to be up there, but has been so inconsistent this season. And towards the back end of the season, he's shown some fantastic pace and he goes up into P4.
Yeah, it definitely has. And just going back to Sam, going through the second sector, he's actually down 0.5 tenth. But it is an improvement, nearly 2 tenths improvement, and puts himself just behind Manlike.
Yeah, just behind it. Manlike goes Sam Van Marazin. Felix went into the pits. Mikula on a lap right now. He is 6 thousandths slower than his previous lap in the first sector. I believe that was ASRT, Kevin. Of course, the race winner around Monza, and what a race win that was for him. He's popped up into P3 right now. Mikula marginally up in the middle sector, and we're going to see if he finds a big heap of time in the final sector coming up the hill now.
Yeah, just taking the tightest line possible all the way to the left to the line. Is it an improvement? No, it isn't. It's actually 300ths down. 3.5 hundredths down on his previous lap time.
Well, Soapbox getting his next lap underway as we got around about 5.5 minutes remaining in the session. And in terms of the strategy around here, Gwen, obviously, from my understanding, the soft tyres are very temperature orientated. They do tend to overheat quite a bit around the circuit.
Yeah, they do, and it's just something they've got to be wary of, whether they try to do just a medium hard or hard medium strategy, or potentially late safety car. You could see people coming into the pits. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in terms of strategy, as Soapbox is not happy with that lap and he decides to go straight into the pits.
Yep, not happy with his lap at all. Santiro's about to get his lap underway, I think. In fact, no, he's going to be allowed to come into the pit lane.
Yeah, of course, just under 5 minutes left in the session. I believe Dennis is on a flyer. As he just goes wide, he goes on traction a little bit too early, and that was Ismail putting himself up into P3, just 11 hundredths, or 11 thousandths of a second behind Santero.
Yeah, and I think everyone now is going to be, if they're out on track, they're going to be heading back to the pit lane right now, just to get themselves psyched up for their final rounds. We got about 4 minutes remaining in the session. Currently, Soapbox is the man who is on pole position, and he is 1,000th of a second away from hitting the sixes. Do you think he's going to get into the sixes?
I mean, it's gonna be towards the end of the session, and with the track evolution, you think that he would, well, having a new set of tyres as well to bolt on, it's looking likely that we're gonna have at least one driver in the 1/6s, whether that's Santero or not, or Soapbox or not, that's another question. But yeah, in my opinion, I do believe we will see someone in the 1/6s.
As Ismail now is in the pit lane, is the calm before the storm now, Quinn. And with it being just under 3.5 minutes to go in the session, the chances of Sergio joining the lobby and obviously making it a championship battle is diminishing quite considerably here. And if he is not able to join, then we know our drivers champion here in F4 will of course be NLR Soapbox, and a deserving champion at that. We can't take anything away from what he has done this season. As we got James Ed in the chat, the man, the myth, the legend, saying good evening. Good evening to you, James. As we are currently on board with EVE Sam, as he's about to get underway for the first of the final runs here in qualifying. Sam coming up the hill now towards the DRS activation point, and he's going to get his lap underway. Quinn, do you want to take us on a lap here with Sam?
Yeah, can do, of course. Coming up to this first corner, get a braking right, you just want to graze over the first curve. Center rest is you want to keep it within the white lines on the exit. And he's already backed out. Yeah, he's already backed out. He wasn't happy with his run through the center S's, so it must have fueled up enough just in case that does happen. It looks like he's got just 2 laps of fuel left, so it looks like he fueled up enough for the second run. Well, if he did invalidate. Not sure what happened to Sam there.
I'm currently on board with Mika coming up through Ferrajula right now. The double right-hander breaks down into the right-hander at turn number 8, and now through turn number 9. In towards turn number 10 now goes Mikela, and he was around 800 of a second up on the sector 1 time. Let's see what sector 2 time is saying, as he's over 2 tenths up in sector 2, over 2.5 tenths up as he comes through Junchao. Now climbs up the hill. Mikela needs a big improvement here. He's currently down in 13th, which is the last of the runners. Is he going to get to the line? Is he going to jump up the order? He is going to jump up into P5. There is CPI Mikela.
Yeah, 1,000th behind ASRT Kevin, who has just started his flying lap. I believe Soapbox has invalidated his lap, so he will get round to do another lap. I believe he's got enough fuel to do so. So plus 1.7 laps of fuel, so definitely will be able to.
Well, Felix 1 right now in middle sector split, and he's marching up in the middle sector. Felix 1 through Junchao, good traction on the exit as he climbs up the hill now. He is marching up in his time, so we're going to see if he's going to find any improvement to get himself into the top 10. He needs a 10th improvement in the final sector. As he found it, yes, he found the 10th, but it wasn't enough to get him into the top 10.
Yeah, I believe that's it for Sam's qualifying, as he was just on the outside. I believe was turn 6. He was just hanging around the outside, letting everyone through, and he's off the track again. And
as ASRT Kevin goes up in the P2. Santero improves on his lap time, but it's not enough to get him up any positions. We got man like coming to the line. Let's see what he can do. He's currently down in 8th place. Oh no, into the wall. not ideal there, and obviously the Soapbox and Felix One both invalidated on their runs. That is qualifying in the bag. The final qualifying of the season is going to be Soapbox that does take the victory, Quinn.
Well, it takes the pole position, but yeah, it's a great lap there from Soapbox. I think it was his second run that actually secured him the pole position, and he's a good chunk ahead of Kevin in second. But from there downwards, it's only about, well, less than 3/10 from second to 13th. So very, very close grid, of course. Brazil it's a bit 50-50 for people who play games, but personally I love the track.
Well, let's run you through the order real quick. It is going to be Soapbox starting from pole position with ASRT Kevin alongside him on the front row. Santero there in P3 with Ismail in P4, Mikela in P5 with Lundo in P6, Betsky in P7 with Alpha Kevin in P8, Manlike in P9, Sam Van Morazin rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 we have Dennis, Felix One and EVE Sam. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not see Sergio join the lobby, so with that, unless he joins now and we're doing the restart and starts from the back, I think it's wraps, and I think the Drivers' Championship is confirmed with Soapbox being the F4 champion.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we haven't actually been able to have a championship fight with it's being so close between the two, but overall, both of them could be proud of how their season has gone. They're by far the two best drivers in this tier, and it would have been amazing to see the championship battle here in such an iconic track that's seen so many titles in real life decided here. But yeah, it is what it is, and Soapbox can have his victory laps here.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be able to have his victory. What the standings were looking like coming into tonight's race. It was Soapbox that was leading ahead of Sergio in the Drivers' Championship by 4 singular points, and it was brewing to be a absolutely incredible season finale with only 4 points between those two drivers. And you can see the consistency from round 7 onwards that Sergio has had, and the inconsistency also from round 7 onwards that Soapbox has had, and it's made for an exciting end. But no Sergio here tonight, so it means that the Drivers' Championship is completely decided. Of course, last time out in Qatar, we did wrap up the Constructors' Championship as well, with Sergio and Mikela taking the spoils there for the Aston Martin team. And yeah, I mean, we're not getting the battle that we want, but there is still interesting battles to look at. I mean, the final spot in the third place, like, Ismail, Mikela, Manlike, and Santero, ASRT, Kevin, they're all here, and there's 11 points separating ASRT Kevin up to Ismail in third. So that could go any way. So we are going to get battles for positions in the championship, but it's just not going to be at the top end. But guys, we will be back after a word from our sponsors. Well, Quinn, as we just had a little look at the Drivers' Championship, of course, the big battles is going to be the battle for third in the Drivers. A lot of drivers involved in that battle. Again, if you look at the standings, of course, Ismail on 55 points, 54 points for Mikela, 52 points for Manlike, No Boyo Lulu tonight, so he'll be remaining on 51 points, 48 points for Santiago, 44 points for ASRT Kevin, and he's only 1 point ahead of Alpha Kevin, who's in P9 in the championship. So very close between a whole a decent amount of the grid that are here tonight. But I mean, we're looking at what could have been with the championship fight at the top.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that it's had to play out this way, but we should be reflecting on the season, really. Of course, Ismail having such a good start and then tailed off towards the middle, he could, if he wants to secure third in the championship, he'll have to rediscover that form that he has at the start of the season.
Yeah, and of course, Mika, since coming into the season at round number 7, was consistent with the podiums until last time out, where he unfortunately DNF'd in Qatar. He's going to be looking to bounce back, but what a performance he's had so far this season since joining.
Yeah, he's been excellent this season, and reflecting on the races, you have to say, well, moment of the season for me has to be ASRT Kevin getting that win at Monza.
Yeah,
for me personally.
That was a fantastic win for ASRT Kevin, and honestly, it was an incredible strategy that he managed to pull off and just make sure that he was there when he needed to be there. But yeah, if you did miss that race, I do highly recommend going back and watching the Italian Grand Prix round number 10 of the F4 Championship to see how that one played out. In terms of the constructors, obviously looking at Aston Martin, really since Mikela came in alongside Sergio, and Sergio turning his form around, that happened simultaneously at the same point of the season, and you can just see, like, in terms of race wins, like between the pair of them, 4 wins out of the last 5 races. The only one that wasn't won by an Aston Martin driver was, of course, when ASRT Kevin took victory at Monza.
Both of them have been very consistent from that race number 7. And yeah, they've, as a team, as a collective, they've just looked unstoppable, really.
Yeah, absolutely, they have. In terms of battles in the constructors, I think the main battle would, of course, be the Saubers versus the Visa Cas App Racing Bulls. The RB team, as well as Sauber. I think Red Bull Mercedes is going to be a nice, interesting battle. And then, of course, any positions gained for the likes of Scuderia Ferrari, Haas, McLaren and Williams is also going to be interesting to see as well. Looking at the track, it is Sao Paulo. It is the Autodromo Carlos Jose Apache. It is the Brazilian Grand Prix, and 15 corners. A very, very tricky circuit, especially in that middle sector. 4.3 kilometers, 2.6 miles in length, 2 DRS zones, 1 down into turn 1 and 1 down in towards turn number 4. The center S's, Descida del Lago, Ferrajula, John Chow. I mean, there's definitely a lot of iconic corners here around Brazil. In terms of overtaking opportunities, obviously you got turn 1, Descida del Lago at turn 4. Turn number 9 is also a very interesting one, as well as you could have a little look down the inside. The same with turn number 8, and of course turn number 10 at the hairpin. The elevation change around this circuit, though, is what I think will be interesting with the drivers now, because obviously you're going uphill then downhill, uphill then downhill, and that kind of momentum change can really affect our car handles and braking. Remember, these guys have they locked up their tires quite considerably in qualifying, and in terms of the tire compounds, I mean, here tonight, the soft tires, they tend to overheat, so locking up is not going to help with the overheating issue with the soft tires.
No, definitely not. As we're getting to the 5 red lights now.
Yep. Five red lights are out and we are underway. And a very good start there from Soapbox. Santero gets a move around the outside as I think Ismail and ASRT Kevin there coming together momentarily through the center S's. As that is someone off in the back. And who was that was off him? Was that Sam?
I think it might have been Luna.
So it's just on board with Alpha Kevin getting onto that inside curve as we come up through towards Ferrajula. And looking at the tyre strategies, Alpha Kevin sends one down the inside. And I think that would have been a warning picked up for track limits here for Alpha Kevin. Mika holding the inside line as they come up the hill now towards turn number 10. Alpha Kevin has the inside line, has the Socom on tyres, and there goes Betsky on the set of mediums trying to get through as well. It's still side by side in Mikela and Betsky as they head in towards Junshao. And yeah, Mikela backs out red. And look at Dennis getting the run that he needs. And what I was going to say, Quinn, very interesting with the tyre split throughout the field. Obviously, you got Soapbox on the set of the mediums, Ismail on the set of the mediums. Betsky, Dennis, Sam Van Marazen, EVE Sam, and Felix One all going for a set of the mediums. You got Alpha Kevin being the only man on a set of soft compound tyres. Everyone else, Santero, ASRT Kevin, Mikela, Man Like, and of course Limno, all going for a set of the hard compound tyres. And the issue with starting on the hard tyres is that they're just very slow early on.
Yeah, it just takes a while to get them up to temperatures. That is Alpha Kevin making use of these soft tyres all over the back of Santero as he gets a penalty here. Yeah, he already has a 3-second penalty, so it's come to bite him really, being on a faster tyre. He should be the fastest man on track right now. And he's showing it because he's right all over the rear, all over the gearbox of Santero, looking to go round the outside. He's having a little look. He's not going to be ahead into the braking zone. Going to get alongside, leaves some room for Santero, squeezes him on the inside, gets the position for P3, and he's on a charge for Ismail now.
Yeah, and as Felix won out of this race, and I think that might be damage through the center S's and a retirement out on track there for Felix One, and not what we like to see early on. But we saw Soapbox just get an incredible lead at the start, while the hard runners in behind were causing a bit of a train, as you see in Betsky and ASRT Kevin going side by side as Dennis is trying to get involved as well. These hard tyres are just not working right now for the drivers on the hards.
Yeah, it's really not, as Kevin has found himself going down the order as he's now into P10. Not sure if he's had an issue or not, but
it was wheel-to-wheel contact with I think it was Dennis coming out of turn 10, and I think it just unsettled him and speed him off a little bit.
Yeah, like you said before, like I was saying before, firstly, Alpha Kevin should be the fastest man on track, and lo and behold, he gets the fastest lap. So at the moment, he is fastest man on track, but he's got a huge margin to get past Soapbox once he's able to get past Ismail, and he is. But yeah, about 2.5 seconds, I believe, just under 2.5 seconds to catch up Soapbox in first.
Now, in terms of the strategy for the likes of Alpha Kevin and Soapbox, Ismail obviously all starting on the set of mediums, apart from Alpha Kevin, of course, on the set of the softs. To me, I can't see Alpha Kevin taking these soft tyres past 10 laps. I think he will be in by lap 10 at the latest. In terms of the mediums, I can see these being just stretched out an extra lap or two, going to like lap 12, maybe lap 13. But realistically, I mean, the hard tyres, everyone's going to be going onto a set of hards, and that's going to be the interesting dynamic. As I would imagine right now that the soft tyres are already starting to fall away slightly from Alpha Kevin here.
Yeah, and Ismail has had a fantastic run through the center S's. He's right on the rear of Alpha Kevin pulling up alongside, has DRS as an aid, and he's able to get past, or back past Alpha Kevin, and he's got Santero for company right behind him. But once again, Alpha Kevin right on the back of Ismail.
Yeah, Dennis is getting very close to the back of Santero there for P4, and oh, Mika, that's sending one down the inside of Betsky in towards turn number 8. So they come through turn 9 now. Betsky's going to hold on to that position, but Mikela might have another little peek, and Betsky covers the inside line, and Mikela's going to have to sit in behind for the time being.
Yeah, and just looking at this gap that's developing at the front, it's over 3 seconds now. So I have to say it's out of the undercut territory from Ismail. So realistically, he can wait a lap to react to Ismail pin when it comes to it. As we look to potentially go 3 wide, it's only 2 wide. But Santero makes a last-ditch effort to go for an overtake. But Ismail, he sort of gets barged out of the way by Santero. But yeah, 2 positions lost, make that 1 position lost for Ismail. And that is Dennis right on the back of Ismail, following him through.
Yeah, I think Santero's line is more back through, and also Dennis being right place, right time to take advantage of that and get himself up in position. Meanwhile, we got the battle of the Sams going on right now for P8, and look at that, ASRT Kevin down the inside of both of them, goes way too deep through turn number 8. That's allowed EVE Sam to come back through, and it's still side by side, a little bit of contact between the pair of them as they come up into turn 10. Down the inside goes Man Light on Sam Van Razen. And it's 2x2 like Noah's Ark, and it is going to be ASRT Kevin, but into Jun Chow, Sam Van, down the inside of Sam, as they still are touching tyres, and look at Man Like, he is all over the back of them, and trying to make this overtake happen is Man Like, as both Sams are into the pits. I think big contact there between Sam and Sam Van coming into the pit lane. Not ideal as Betsky and Mikela side by side, and I think Mikela has got that done at this stage in the race right now. The mediums I believe are still the better tyre to be on, but they are not going to be much quicker than the hards at this stage.
Yes, I believe that was EV Sam retiring in the pit lane. So Sam Van Marzing is of course, well, it's actually missing an end plate. It's missing the front right end plate.
Yeah, he hit the back of EV Sam coming into the pit lane.
There's Betsky getting a 3-second time penalty, and it's going to be interesting to see how Sam handles missing that end plate.
Well, surely he's going to have to pit again at this stage, because not going to be ideal for him going around with a damaged front wing, as Dennis now up into P2. Remember, obviously Dennis's best race of the season in terms of just the raw pace that he had was at Hungary early on in the season, and he did manage to get well, he was on course for a fantastic result, and then everything kind of just went away from him very quickly in that race. But Dennis looking to end the season in a strong position. Ismail is going to be looking to end his season as best as possible, and of course try and take that P3 in the championship. He does have Alpha Kevin in behind him. Santero and Mikela been on the hard compound tyre, still in this train. Definitely is not going to be filling Ismail with huge confidence at this moment in the race.
Yeah, it's really not.
Santero tried to cut in, and can't get it done. Ismail's gonna, Santero's gonna have to sit in. Mikela's going to stick in behind Santero there, as Santero had a little peek at Alpha Kevin.
Yeah, it's been fairly close racing so far, but this gap between first and second has come down about 4 tenths in this last lap. So Dennis really pushing the pace at the moment, trying to catch up to Soapbox, or Soapbox might have had a little mistake, not quite sure, but yeah, the gap is slowly closing in between Dennis and Soapbox, and of course Dennis is bringing along everyone else behind him apart from Kevin. Of course, he's got a 2-second gap to the back of Luno.
Yeah, as Sam Van also retiring after coming back into the pit lane. I'm just going to have a quick look at Kevin real quick to see if he's got a bit of wing damage that may be the reason why he has fallen down the order, as Sam Van Marazen has left the lobby. Hopefully everything in the lobby stays good. We have our fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, I didn't see no wing damage here on Kevin's car, so I think just a culmination of just being behind that battle with Sam Van and Sam when it was getting very scrappy between the two of them, and just the hard tyres at the start of the race. I think that's what's caused. Oh, and here comes Man Like getting through on Mikula. Into P7 goes Man Like. But yeah, with Kevin, I think it's a culmination of just the tyres not working for him and just getting caught behind drivers battling.
Yeah, and talking of battles, I just saw Santero getting past Alpha Kevin, and it's definitely obvious that the soft tyres are starting to fall off now. He was about 9. Yeah, Betsky gets through as well, but he's still making a battle out of it. Is Alpha Kevin looking to go down the inside of junction? Oh, no, he's not. He locks up the rears momentarily, nearly spinning himself out. That creates an opportunity for Mikula to go right on his gearbox and potentially go for a move. Of course, you see Kevin, Alpha Kevin, it is recharging his battery, which opens the door for Mikula to go for a move. Looks to go down the inside, which he has the outside now, but he keeps the inside. But turn 3 nearly spins out on the curb actually, but he gets the position done, and it's P6 for Mikula.
Yeah, the soft tyres are completely falling off the cliff right now. He just does not have the grip in the corners as he did at the start of the race. As to be expected, the soft tyres, they do overheat and they will fall away at this point in the race, and Alpha Kevin is finding that out the hard way right now.
Yeah, he is, and yeah, just seeing Man Like is just making himself known to Alpha Kevin. He's just poking his front wing in pretty much every corner, trying to force Alpha Kevin into a mistake, but it's not happening for him. And Alpha Kevin is still going to have the benefit of DRS, so it's not going to be an easy overtake for Man Like, but he is on a faster tyre at the moment, as Alpha Kevin still decides to stay out.
Yeah,
that was Santero, I believe, getting past Betsky.
Yeah, Man Like I'm not on the inside, doesn't want to commit to the outside line, return to the inside for turn 3, so he sits in behind Alpha Kevin for the time being. Honestly, I think that is it's a safer option for Man Like to do, but I feel that as we go from the middle sector, you're going to see Alpha Kevin drop out of DRS range here. As here goes Mikula down the inside of Betsky, and what you're seeing now is the hard tyres coming into play here, Quinn.
Yeah, definitely is, and just on that last lap, Santero managed to get through on Betsky, but he hasn't really closed the gap much into Ismail. If anything, it's being extended by a couple of attempts. But that gap between Dennis and Slowbots, the last time we saw it was 3.7, now it's 3.3. So another 4 attempts in as many laps. So Dennis is really pushing the pace. He's got to be careful.
Oh, Alpha Kevin with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Heartbreak for Alpha Kevin.
Dennis. Oh no, Betsky.
Oh yeah, Betsky has gone off. Did you see what happened there?
Yeah, he just got on the power a bit too much on that inside curve at turn 3. And he just went into a little half spin, but he managed to save it.
I mean, fortunately for Betsky, he's been able to stay in the train, which is ideal for him, because as you can see with ASRT Kevin, he hasn't been able to get anywhere back onto the back of these guys because he's not been in the DRS string. And you're seeing Santero obviously trying his best to close in on Ismo, but Santero does not have DRS. He's just got to use the grip on his tyres, and you're seeing that grip coming into effect bit by bit for these corners. But right now, DRS is neutralising the gap, I think.
Yeah, I think Betsky has cooked up his medium tyres. Going through Zhongchao, he nearly had a full spin going through Zhongchao. And yeah, he's outside of the DRS zone now, as we see Mikela getting past on Santero.
Now, if you're Mikela and Santero, I mean, I think now is a good time to start working together. I mean, you're both on hard compound tyres, and you got Ismail and Dennis up ahead. And they are 3 seconds, well, less than 3 seconds now at the back of Soapbox. You see in Soapbox, he is being caught slowly by Dennis. So that's just showing Dennis's pace here in Brazil. And it's going to be interesting to see when Dennis jumps into the pits. I think Soapbox now might be looking at that gap and being a little bit nervous of Dennis in this race.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure of what the undercut zone is around here. I'd imagine it's about 1.5 to 2 seconds, as that is Mikela getting in all sorts of trouble coming out of turn 9.
Yeah, but he took half a second out of Ismail and Dennis on our lap.
Yeah, he did take half a second out, but of course that mistake they had has kind of nullified that gain for him, as this is Santero going around the outside, making a move look easy, and up into P4 goes Santero once again.
Yeah, the gap 1.7 between Santero and Ismail. The gap is coming down. The hards are the better tyre to be on at this moment in the race. Lap 15 of 36. Soapbox leading the way, the champion here in F4. Dennis right now in P2, holding off Ismail, who is currently all over the rear wing of him in P3. Then of course we've got the hard runners, Santero here in P4, leading the train with Mikela in P5, Manlike in P6, P7 of Ludlow. Then of course we got ASRT Karen around 3.5 seconds back, close to 4 seconds back now for ASRT Karen. And then we've got the 2 drivers that have made a pit stop so far in this race, in Alpha Karen in 9th, and of course Betsky in 10th. 3 drivers have DNF so far, and that is of course Sam Van Marazin, EVE Sam, and Felix 1. Into the pits come the medium runners.
Yeah, I was thinking they'd be coming in around now to get a good 20-21 laps on the hard tyres, and I will be thinking that the hard runners will be coming in around lap 20 or 21 if they're going on for the medium tyre.
I mean, I would say around lap 22, 23 if it was me personally, just because we saw in the final couple of laps those mediums begin to fall away, and you definitely do not want the mediums to fall away at the end of, like, you don't want them to fall off an absolute cliff at the end of the race.
Yeah, and of course for these medium runners that have not pitted, the top 5, ideally for them they'd want to have a safety car around about lap 20, 21, maybe 22. If there's a safety car around that period, they can just pit on for the mediums and comfortably go to the end, and most likely they'll keep their track position.
Yeah, absolutely. Soapbox 9 seconds off the back of ASRT Kevin. Dennis now has, a bit of work to do. I mean, he is going to be on. He is going to be trying to eat into that gap. It's 2.6 seconds. As we're seeing Manlike and Santero getting very close through a turn 3, and here goes Manlike. Having a look on the inside into the seat of Delago, and backs out of it. Smart there from Manlike.
Yeah, going through turn 1, I was just watching.
Beautiful run.
Yeah, that was.
Betsky's retired from the race and now he's in the pit lane. But what a move there from Manlike.
Yeah, it was a very good move, and I was just going to say very quickly, going through turn 1 there, I believe Santero made contact with the back of Mikela, and sent Mikela into a little bit of a half spin going through turn 1. Doesn't look like he's got any front wing damage, so thankfully for Santero it's not ruined his race in that aspect. But yeah, the top 4 really sticking together, and only half a second is the biggest gap, with 6 tenths now for Luno, as that's man like getting past Mikela.
Yep, man, like up into the race lead. Remember, the top 5 yet to make a pit stop in this race. Soapbox, Dennis, Ismail, and Alpha Kevin have all made their pit stop, and they're all on a set of the hard compound tyres. You've seen Alpha Kevin set a new fastest lap of 109.8 from him. 9 drivers remaining in the race as we are at the halfway distance, Quinn.
Yes. It's going to be interesting to see when these hard tyre runners do decide to pit, because of course once one of them pits, that's going to trigger, well, a chain reaction for the rest of the top 4, and ASRT Kevin has dropped off massively from the front 4. He's nearly 4 seconds off the back of Luno, so not sure what happened.
It's
with Luno,
it's the fact he does not have DRS. Like he's just losing. He's losing around a good half a second minimum just on the DRS straights, and that's just culminating lap after lap. As you're seeing, 4.1 it was when he crossed when he came through John Chow, and it's 4.6 right now as he comes to the center S's.
Yeah, it's really not been a good race for ASRT Kevin so far, as 3 laps ago when Sobots came out of the pits, the gap was around 9.5 seconds to ASRT Kevin. It's now 5.7 and it's steadily falling. So
speaking of steadily falling, Dennis 1.9 off the back of Soapbox. Now that's been coming down slowly as well.
Yeah, definitely has, and he's still got Ismail and Alpha Kevin for company. Although Alpha Kevin is getting dangerously close to dropping out of the DRS range.
Yeah, I think for Alpha Kevin, sticking with these guys is going to benefit him massively in this race. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys in the hards, once they switch over to mediums, what their pace is going to be like, and how they're going to be able to carve their way through the likes of Alpha Kevin, Ismail and Dennis, as here goes man-like back through on Mika again, back into the race he goes man-like. And lap 20 of 36 pit window will be open, I think, for the hard runners now at the end of this lap.
Yeah, definitely has, and just looking at this gap that I mentioned last lap between Soybox and Kevin, it's fallen by about, well, it's fallen by over a second just in that lap alone. So if ASRT Kevin doesn't pit soon, as that is Alpha Kevin getting another 3-second time penalty. But yeah, if ASRT Kevin doesn't pit soon, you could see Soapbots get onto the back of him in about 4, maybe 3 laps time.
Yeah, and there'll be a full pit stop at ASRT Kevin. Will have to try and make up on mediums, and I think that's a bit too big of a gap, as we're seeing. Yep, there goes man like Mikela into the pit lane, and Santero and Lunno continue on.
Yeah, I believe Kevin is in as well, so he's trying to nullify the gap between himself and Soapbox, but Soapbox is comfortably gonna be ahead of Mikela and Man-like, as I believe Man-like actually jumped Mikela in the pit stops.
Oh, Santero and Lunno battling there through the seat of the Lago. Lunno on the inside line, and there's a little weave from Santero. He wasn't happy with that from Lunno there. And Soapbox is not too far. Well, actually, I was going to say not too far. Soapbox has been released now. 8-second gap between Soapbox and the 2 up front that have not pitted yet.
Yeah, having that clean air ahead of him for Soapbox. Well, he had the clean air behind Kevin. But yeah, having that clean air, even more clean air, he's already pulled out 9 tenths, and it's not even been a full lap, so he will definitely, if they don't pit soon, he will definitely be in with catching them in the next few laps, but they're both pitting in now. So Sobots will inherit the race lead once again, and it will be the actual race lead. So yeah, Dennis is not sure what the gap is, 1.6, but he has a little bit of a slide going through turn 1. That allows Ismail to potentially get a run on Dennis and potentially go for an overtake, but he just doesn't look to have the straight line speed to do so, does Ismail?
I think what Ismail's doing right now is very smart. He knows Dennis is closing in on Soapbox. He's probably going to go for the overtake now on the DRS straight as we begin lap 23. And he's got a full 100% in his battery. So he can use the DRS and his ERS and then try and get himself into position where he can get into the DRS range of Soapbox immediately.
Yeah, and that exit out of turn 9 for Dennis was not ideal. He really bogged down on traction. So it's getting close to the 2-second margin between himself and Soapbox, but I believe Ismail is just going to stick behind once again.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Ismail's strategy. He's relying on Dennis to get as close as possible and man like at the fastest lap of the race. And you're seeing now man like Mikela on those mediums begin to close in on the hard runners, and what we've got by here is Alpha Kevin, Ismail and Dennis. They're not battling each other yet, but we know the battle is coming. It is beginning to brew between these guys.
Yeah, definitely is. And just looking back at this battle between Luno and Santero, Santero got past on DRS straight down into turn 4, but Luno is just hanging in behind him. And yeah, this gap between Dennis and Soapbox hasn't changed in this last lap. So potentially Soapbox has found a bit of pace. And he is using the RS. He has got about 30% left. He is in hot lap mode. So he has been pushing. And Ismail gets a move down on Dennis. And now we can see Ismail's pace and see if he can be the one to catch up to the back of Soapbox.
Yeah, I think with Ismail, he does have the ERS to burn. He has already burned quite a considerable amount of it though, and not ideal if you are Ismail to burn that much of the ERS, but 1.6 the gap. If Ismail and Dennis can trade DRS successfully over the next lap or two, they should be on the back of Soapbox by, I want to say, around lap 27.
Yeah, they just have to work together like we've said before. Drivers working together can bring themselves right into this battle for a race win, as that is Ismail sliding through Jung Chao, and that cost him about a 10th of a second. So Dennis is going to be right on the back of him before he even gets to the DRS activation. He goes down the inside, gets the move done on Ismail, and Alpha Kevin's just sitting pretty, waiting for one of them, well, one of the two to make a mistake or potentially a safety car to come out, as he is on the oldest tyres at the moment out of everyone still racing. So come the end of the race, he might be on his last legs in terms of the mediums, well, the hards, sorry. So he's got to be careful, and I think he's going to be wishing for a late safety car.
Meanwhile, you got Manlike and CPI Mikela closing in still, 4.9 the gap between them and Alpha Kevin right now. And honestly, in terms of these medium runners, I mean, they are closing in quite considerably on the hard runners at the head. It's going to be interesting to see though what they're going to do once they catch up to the back of the train. So I think they will catch the back of the train, but are they going to be able to get through? Will their tyres have the grip to get through and be able to hold position by the end of this race? Because we did see on the first stint the medium tyres begin to fall away around 11 laps in, and that's a virtual safety car.
Ooh, that's Kevin. ASRT Kevin, who spun going through John Chow, and that is Luno in the pits. So potentially he is strapping on
For a set of mediums.
set of the mediums. Yeah, he is. There's Kevin retiring on track.
Ideal there for Kevin as he has retired from the race, but down to 8 runners left here in Brazil. Soapbox still leads the way. DRS has been enabled. We're back to green flag racing. Soapbox there with a big slide. And oh, same with Dennis as well. Synchronization coming out of turn number 9 for those two, and that is not ideal for the pair run.
Yeah, he did end up losing quite a bit of time, did Soapbox there, but with Dennis doing the same, it nullified that mistake from Soapbox, so the gap is 1.9. We're just creeping over 2 seconds now. But yeah, that was very weird that both of them had a little half spin just getting back underway from the virtual safety car. Is just 2.1 seconds is the gap, so it's grown from before the virtual safety car, and Soapbox has got to be feeling quite happy about his race so far, just sticking out here and just trying to keep this gap to being away from the DRS.
Yeah, right now Soapbox is managing the gap. Speaking of gap, man like Mikela having a good restart from the virtual safety car. Culminating that with obviously the grip advantage they have at this point in the race. The gap is down to 2 seconds between man like and Alpha Kevin.
Yeah, these two are going to be right on the back of Alpha Kevin, I'd say, in the next 2 laps or so. Maybe even 3, but yeah, that will be a very enticing last 6 laps if man like Mikela can get onto the back of him, as Mikela has actually got the fastest lap here, 109.217. And yeah, the gap is just being managed very well. The gap, yeah, he does get through, and the gap is about 1.6 now. But I was just going to say the gap is being managed quite well from Soapbox, but now that Ismail is through on Dennis, the gap has fallen, so maybe Ismail's got some pace to burn.
Potentially, and Ismail needs to try his best to get within that 1 second window on Soapbox, because I mean right now you got 2 very quick drivers on a set of the mediums closing in rapidly, and the gap there is 1.6 now. But you're seeing the gap is coming down less and less each lap. I think Mikela has made a mistake and has lost a bit of time through John Chow, and here goes man like on him now.
I wouldn't expect Mikela to fire too much. Of course, I don't want to disrupt the progress that they're making, and it's still about, well, every time they go through DRS straight, the gap is going to widen, of course, because the lead car being man-like is just not going to have the pace to keep up with Alpha Kevin getting DRS, but through the corners, having the grip advantage of a softer compound and his tyres being half the life of Alpha Kevin, that's where you're going to see the gap start to fall through this second sector.
1.6 the gap between Ismail, 1.7 the gap now between Ismail and Soapbox, and Soapbox is just managing this race incredibly well, and thoroughly deserving of his drivers' championship here in F4. Because,
yeah, look at this gap between man like and Alpha Kevin now. Sorry to cut you off, but it's 1.2 seconds now. He gained about 6 tenths through the second sector alone.
Dennis gets back through on Ismail, back up in the P2 goes Dennis, And Mika gets back through on Man Like, and that gap is now 1.5 after DRS. But look at the run they get through the center S's versus the hard runners up ahead. Look at how much time they're going to gain now in the middle sector.
Yeah, by the time we get to the pit straight, they're going to be right on the back of them. And well,
Yeah,
right now,
DRS.
Mikula is inside DRS range of Alpha Kevin. So, but the fact that it's getting onto the back of a DRS train, they're going to find it quite difficult to get past the three of them, eventually fight it out for a podium.
Well, we're going to see what these guys are going to be made of right here on the medium tyres, because they probably have the best chance of closing in the gap on Soapbox. But Soapbox is actually pulling away now. It's 2.2 the gap. Here goes Ismo. He's going to get through on Dennis again. Back up in the P2 goes Ismo. A little bit of wheel banging between the pair of them. And Alpha Kevin does not want to risk going for a move there. But let's see the run that Mika is going to have through the center S's. Taps the back end of Alpha Kevin. Costing him a little bit of momentum through there. So no move going to happen down in towards the Cedar de Lago.
It's getting very close between these drivers here, from Ismail in second down to Man Like in sixth. The biggest gap
Here
is
goes
4
Mikula.
tenths, as this is Mikula going for a move down the outside, inside, which becomes the outside, which then again becomes the inside. He's going to potentially get the move done and dusted right here down the inside. But he's still there.
Oh,
He's
contact.
still there. A little bit of contact between the two. And that is now a car between Mikula and Man Like. So now Mikula's got to hope that Kevin can keep Man Like behind.
Yeah, but Man Like is using his battery. He's using DRS, and he's going to pull to the inside line. Purple in the final sector there for Man Like, down the inside in towards turn number 1. Job done for Man Like, and I think that is now Alpha Kevin pretty much now just going to fall away from this train. He's got Santero around 3 seconds back from him, and obviously with the penalties as well, it's going to be difficult for Alpha Kevin to finish any higher than 7th place.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Alpha Kevin because he showed some consistent pace. He of course pitted 3 laps earlier than
Here goes
the
Mikula.
other
Oh, down the
medium
inside,
runners.
Dennis.
Yeah, going for an audacious overtake attempt there is Mikula, but he doesn't look to go down the outside. He
he's
goes
gone
for a
into-
late run. And that was Man Like looking for an overtake as well on Dennis at the same time. But all this battling is just, well, it's increasing the gap between Dennis and Ismail. And I believe it will close up going through this DRS zone, but it's dangerously close to actually getting out of DRS range. As this is Man Like getting very close. He looked around the outside, but he wasn't able to get a move done on Mikula. Mikula gets a fantastic exit out of these center S's, but equally does Dennis, and he's going to be looking to get onto the back of Ismail. He's not able to get a move done, but it's just applying the pressure. A little bit of contact between Mikula and Dennis. But yeah, this race is really spicing up the final podium positions coming into these last 3 laps.
Yeah, and this time Mikula does not look down the inside in towards turn number 8. He's going to sit in behind and just wait for his opportunity, and look at the run that he's going to get up the hill. He's going to look around the outside of turn number 10. Is he going to be able to pull it off? No, a little bit of a snap there from Dennis. That's opened the door for Mikula. Down the inside through 11. Now in towards Jun Chao, and job done for Mikula. Mikula now can put the pressure on Ismail and then see if he's got the pace to close in on Soapbox. Lap 33 of 36, about to begin lap 34, and here goes Mikula.
Man Like as well. He was going to get boxed in there. Contact.
Dennis.
That was Dennis on the back of Ismail. Yeah, just the contact. He just got a little bit too close to his rear left, and that's unfortunately what spun him, of course, with the little bit of contact from a man like him behind. It's unfortunate for Dennis because he's shown some really consistent pace. But you're coming into these last few laps, I believe, well, the podium battle is going to be still in the mix for these 5 drivers right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're seeing as well is the mediums are not closing in on the hards anymore, because we're getting to the end of the medium advantage that Mikula and Manlike have over the hard runners. So Soapbox right now, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, it's all in his hands.
Yeah, it is. Look at man like Shron coming out. Zheng Chao is going to be looking to get an overtake done on Ismail. He has the outside line, but is forced to concede a position. Great defending there from Ismail. As Alf Kevin has actually spun round on the exit of turn 2. So it's unfortunate for Alf Kevin, but with those penalties, he wasn't really going to be finishing any higher than he is right now.
No, absolutely not. Alpha Kevin, heartbreak day for him, but right now all eyes on the battle for P2, P3, P4 and P5 in this race. You got Mikula in P2, 14 lap old mediums, Ismail 19 lap old hards in P3, 14 lap old mediums for Manlike in P4, and of course we got Dennis on 19 lap old hard tyres in P5. The gap between Mikula and Soapbox has stayed around the same 2.3 for the past lap and a bit, as we're about to come on to the final lap of the race. One final opportunity now for Ismail, and he's going to go past Mikula with DRS in towards turn number 1, and Mikula's going to sit in behind.
Yeah, it's a very good move. Of course, he was the last real overtaking opportunity with DRS, but Mikula's gonna look, he's gonna get a move done. As I said, it was the last overtaking opportunity. No, it's not. We've still got the hairpin to come up, so we could see Ismail go for a dive, or even man like. They're really taking it slow, and just look at Ismail. He's really,
like a little peek down the inside of Ismail, and
everyone is saving their DRS for the run out of Zheng Chao.
yeah, Mikula,
And it's going to be a drag race. It's going to be a complete drag race to the line for the last two spots on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. Mikula needs to make sure his run out of Zheng Chao is absolutely spot on and impeccable. And he gets a little bit onto the curb, but he has 4 tenths of a gap. Is that going to be enough? I don't know. As we run towards the line, it's going to be Soapbox, the F4 Drivers' Champion, to take victory here in the final race of the season. And Mikula does hold on to P2 in the end. Ismail completing the podium. Manlike in P4, Dennis in P5, Stantero in P6. Alpha Kevin will come through to take P7. And, oh, actually, with that 10-second for an unserved penalty, he might drop behind Lunlow here.
I think he might. I didn't quite see.
No, Lunlow did not get the jump on him. So is Alpha Kevin in 7th and Lunlow in 8th place there. Well, Mikula gets the in-game driver of the day vote from the in-game fans, but it is going to be Soapbox who, in incredible fashion, in the end, sealing the Drivers' Championship here in F4 on the PlayStation tier, and he does it in incredible fashion with the pole position as well as a race win. What could have been if Sergio was here, we will never know, but it doesn't take away from the fact that Soapbox has been incredible throughout the season and is a thoroughly deserved Drivers' Champion here in F4.
Yeah, it definitely is. Of course, he did have the dip in form after race number 7, but to get this race win and to get it with a gap of just under 2 seconds in a tier like F4 where it's so close, it's very good.
As I am on the classic screen where it doesn't show me the the finishing results, but I will quickly run you through all that again. Oh, there we go. It goes immediately off the screen immediately. Fantastic. But yeah, so it was Soapbox that did take the victory. Nicola in second place. Then, of course, we had Ismail there completing the podium. Manlike was there in P4 with Dennis in P5. Santero coming through for P6. Alpha Kevin holds on to P7 with Lundo in P8. There was only 8 finishers in the end. We had 5 DNFers, and they were, of course, ASRT Kevin, Betsky, Sam Van Morazin, EVE Sam, and, of course, Felix won. In the end, honestly, do you know what? What do you reckon, Quinn? Should we get a word from our drivers champion? Quinn?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, lovely stuff. Let's see if we are able to get a word in from our drivers champion, Soapbox. Okay, is Soapbox able to join the waiting room or straight into the Soapbox, I think you would be able to join the waiting room. And hopefully we'll be able to move you up into the commentating VC. But yeah, in terms of the season is over. Soapbox has joined the waiting room. Are we able to move him up? And yes, we are. Yes, we are. Fantastic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined F4 Drivers Champion. It is NLR Soapbox. Soapbox, massive congratulations on sealing the Drivers Championship here tonight. Of course, doing it in an incredible fashion with the pole position and race win. How was that for you out on track?
Hey guys. First of all, I think I was to ask, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I switched from PlayStation to PC right now. So yeah. First of all, big love to you guys that you took your time to stream the races all the weeks. 12 almost 12 races, and yeah. Today I would say like unfortunately yeah, Sergio wasn't able to drive take part today. That's not how I wanted to win the championship. I think it would have been a great race with him. And yeah, today was really, I mean, I practice a lot. Never practiced so much for a PSGL race like the last 5 days. And yeah, it was a good day. I'm happy.
It absolutely was. And of course, in that race, once you built the gap early on, you were just able to control the gap throughout the entirety of the race, especially on the hard compound tires. Did you feel that the mediums would be, a threat late on? Because of course we saw Mikela and Manlike start to make their way through the field and get themselves into position where they could get towards the front of that train. But did you think they would have got there a little bit earlier, or did you think as soon as they got there, it's too little, too late?
I knew from the first stint, like the last 3 laps, I think Macmillan was P5, and I saw that he was faster than me with a Hearts one. So I knew the last 3 or 4 laps, I'm gonna be the faster one, you know. So I was like, cool, they will be fast after their pit stop. It's all okay, just manage it. And I had a little problem with it because I since lap I think 12 or 13, I had 2 warnings, so was a little bit tough sometimes, but yeah, was able to manage the battery, and yeah, but this guy is a really great race pace. I mean, McMillan was promoted from I think F6. He came in and I think he won 2 or 3 races, and most of the races were podiums. So this guy is really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, he came in round number 7, took the race win, third place in Mexico for round 8, took a race win in Belgium, and then, of course, another podium in Monza. And the DNF last time out in Qatar is what ruled him out of potentially being in the championship fight with yourself and Sergio. But obviously, it came down to yourself and Sergio. I mean, it seemed that the rise in both Sergio happened when Mikela got promoted up into F4, and that seemed to be the start, like the struggle for you. With it was the latter stages of the season. Is that where you was like, okay, like these couple of races by year just did not for me?
Yeah, I mean, I knew they were fast. Problem was like I think Jeddah, I was completely ill. I had 40-degree fever, and I didn't practice anything, and so I got P6. I was really happy with that. Mexico was a bad strategy call, and Spa I got a disconnect with 2 laps to go, and so this was really tough at that time. But I mean, I knew it's a season, 12 races. They're always ups and downs. So I knew that. I mean, in the first half of the season, I had a lot of luck. For example, in Suzuka, I won the race after the penalty for I think it was Niels, and so yeah, I'm happy with that.
Obviously, been an incredible season now for you. In terms of in your opinion, what was the best race of the season that you got to drive? Because I got my personal favorite race that you've had, and I'll tell you my personal favorite from yourself, and that was round 5 at Hungary, because that was
Yeah.
just an incredible strategy. Do you echo that of being the best race you've driven so far this season?
100%. And I like the commentary because you said before the race, like a lot of drivers have won their first race. They're like Jenson Button, Heikki Kovalainen, Ocon, I think Alonso as well. And yeah, like 1 hour later, I just won my first race on PSGL. And yeah, I was like, that was really my best race. Like every lap was on fire. Strategy call. Yeah, I really liked the race.
Yeah, it was an absolutely incredible race, and of course, an incredible season from yourself. 3 race wins over the course of the season, 2 second places, and of course, a podium in round 1 at Silverstone. Quinn, do you have any questions for our F4 Drivers' Champion here?
I was just everything I was gonna ask has been covered. So, just like going through when obviously Mikela came in and Sergio started getting his consistency from round 7 onwards. Were you from that race? After that race, were you starting to feel like you're getting worried about the championship, or were you always in the back of your mind like know that you had the consistency?
A little bit. Like I think at on that point or at that time at 30 points gap to P2, but I knew this luck was unbelievable at that time. So I knew there will be a race with no points, a bad qualifying, and I was like all the time, keep cool, keep racing, and yeah, I mean, to be honest, Sergio, I think I drove all 12 races. Sergio only 7 or 8. I'm not sure right now. And he is almost now 20 points behind me. I'm not sure right now. Or 21 points behind me with 5 races left than me. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's also really fast.
Yeah, I can confirm He's missed 5 races over the course of the season. Likewise with yourself, he's picked up 3 wins this season as well, and of course a P2 in Belgium and a P3 in Jeddah. Obviously looking forward now to next season. Are you looking to potentially be trying to take a step up into one of the higher tiers now that you've got this Drivers' Championship under your belt?
I'm not Nico Rosberg. So yeah, I will drive, of course. I have time on Mondays still, and yeah, I will see if it's F3, F2, or whatever. I think I will see some guys from this tier again. Yeah, I'm really excited for the future.
As you should be, my friend, as you should be. Well, massive congratulations on the race win here tonight, and of course the Drivers' Championship here in F4. And I think Quinn, that's gonna wrap things up for us here tonight. The season finale in the bags. Soapbox taking victory as well as the Drivers' Championship. Mika second place. Ismail completing the podium. And honestly, I'm looking forward now to season 38 when that gets announced. And of course, make sure you guys tune in to the action going on right now in F1 and F3, also here on YouTube. But for myself, Michael Edwards, from Danny Quinn, is goodbye from the pair of us.
Yeah.